Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Today article, I'm going to start with the state and the social policy as influences on the family. Family life is surrounded by legal norms controlling things such as marriage and divorce, moral values that shapes ideas about what a family is and should be, what it does and should do. In other words, family are influenced and shaped by a family ideology. This ideology defines the family as both a public institution supported by government and a private institution where family members should be left alone to work out their relationship. So, according to this paragraph, there are certain things we need to understand. Today's article is all about the relationship between the family and the state. One thing. Second thing, it's all about the functions of the family. What family should do because family is considered to be the basic or the primary institution which supports the state in reference to providing the state the best suitable labor force. We need to understand two things. First of all, it's all about the family. Second, it's all about the state, and in between their mutual relationship, how both institutions, state and family, support each other, and what are the functions a state should perform in reference to support the family, and what are the functions which are there within the family institution to support the government or the state. So the very first thing about this debate, how to start with the debate, is all about the functionalism. So first of all, we have functionalist approach which will tell us something about what a family should do or what the relationship of the family or a state should be. So according to functionalist approach, traditional functionalist approach stress the role that family play in maintaining order. The family group performs certain essential functions for both individual and wider society, which make it crucial to any social system. The relationship between the family and the political institution is, however, a mixed, ambivalent one. Throughout much of the industrialized world, the state has progressively removed a range of functions from the family, especially in the areas such as education and welfare. The new right. In the USA, Eichner 2010 argued for a supportive state model where political institutions act to support families in performing their caretaking and human development functions. These ideas reflect ideas about the basic importance of the family group in any society. The role of the state here involves encouraging family structures and relationships that are seen as good and not encouraging those that are not good. Government policies should be directed at supporting traditional family relationship. Nile notes that this involves stable family relationship created within the married, heterosexual, dual-parent nuclear families. These structures are seen as providing emotional and psychological benefits to the family members. At the same time, the personal and the social responsibilities are created, which benefit society in general. Children are given clear moral and behavioral guidance, which makes them less likely to engage in deviant behavior, and each adult partner plays a role that involves both personal sacrifices and commitment to others. For the new right perspective, family structures and relationships such as single parenthood can only keep going with government support, something that encourages a dependency culture. Single parenthood there is considered both wrong and unproductive. It is seen as producing poorly socialized, dysfunctional children who go on to live adult life depends on the state benefits. Crime are both. So first of all, we need to understand what is the traditional functional approach about the relationship between the family and the role of the state towards the family. So, according to the traditional functionalists, they simply, as I mentioned in previous lectures as well, what is the functionalist approach? The functionalist approach emphasize, accentuate on the primary socialization. They simply consider family the basic unit, the most important institution for the prosperity and the progress of any society. So according to functionalists, we need to understand one thing, which is family should provide primary socialization, one thing, and secondly, government should support those people, those families which are towards are the supportive to the society. So this is function approach is all about. Basically, primary socialization. One thing. Second thing is, according to functionalist, we have a new, you can say, new dimension. And what about this new dimension is all about is the new right. What is new right? I mean, the government now, we are living in 21st century and things are entirely different as compared to 50 to 60 years before. Now, I mean, there are so many functions which are overtaken by the government, which were actually the essential part of the family. So now it's like 50-50 ratio towards family and the state or the government. So, first of all, I need to talk about what is the significance, what is the importance of the role of the government. So, according to New Right, Echner, a psychologist, and the functionalist, I mean, he simply gave a theory, and according to his theory, I mean, now it is the responsibility of the government to encourage the structure of the family, which is more beneficial towards the society, towards the betterment of the society. So, according to this theory, nuclear family are any type of family structure which is supportive towards the government or the state should be encouraged. And the second portion is the government should discourage that the single parenthood is not enough. Is it should not be supportive. It should try your level best to avoid. You know why? Because there is a term which is related to the single parenthood, which is dysfunctional children. So according to government policy, no doubt government will support those single parents, I mean, who are all alone, they don't have any person to rely on or depend on. So government still keep on supporting those single parents, but at the same time, through media they simply give awareness to people that they need to be together for the betterment of their kids. Because if a single parent is raising his or her child, it is far more difficult to maintain the status, to maintain that productivity out of the kid, which is necessary to support the state or the government. So, what is dysfunctional child? Dysfunctional child is a child which is far away from the level of, you can say, productive upbringing. So, a dysfunctional children might become a crime, you can say commit a crime, because he or she does not have that supportive hand from both parents. So I mean, according to government policy, I mean, the government try his level best to support those families and just try to convince the single parents. I mean, they need to either go towards the reconstituted family structure, or serial monogamy. So both are possibilities. So according to new right philosophy, government encourages those family structures which are more supportive towards the prosperity of the state or the government. One thing. Second thing is that, I mean, government is more supportive towards the family structure. You know why? Because now the things which are the part of the primary socialization, like welfare, medical care, like education, I mean, all those things are taken over by the government. So it is the responsibility of the government in the modern age, by the developed countries, that they provide each and everything to the kids, are those family structures which are supported towards the state or the government. So according to new right, the last thing I need to mention is, it's all the supportive structure, all the support given by the government to those family structures which are equally handy for the governments. I mean, they should be supported, and they should be encouraged to adopt certain things. Responsibilities and obligations are equally divided within the government and the family structure. So this is we have in the new right. So obviously, the Marxists are there always to criticize the capitalist society. So again, the Marxist presence can be observed. Marxism, conflict perspectives such as Marxism Marxism and feminism take a more critical approach to the relationship between the family and the state. Marxist focuses on relating what the family does, such as socialization, to how it benefits powerful groups. For example, how the ruling class benefits from free family services, such as bearing the cost of raising children because they are future employees. For Marcus, the relationship between the family and the capitalist state is based on how the family helps to maintain and reproduce social inequality by presenting them as normal and natural within the socialization process. The state, as a part of the political and ideological superstructure, is seen as supporting and purporting the family group as a stabilizing force. The financial and the moral responsibility people take on when they create family groups lock them into the capitalist economic relationship. For example, people have to work to provide for family members. Having this responsibility also act as the emotionally stabilizing force. Althusser argued that families are an ideological state operators. Through primary socialization, children learn values such as the importance of the work ethics and norms, such as the work itself, both paid and unpaid, that blend them into capitalist society. Critics of this approach, however, have pointed out that the development of a welfare state through free universal education and healthcare has produced widespread and long lasting benefit for working class families. So, according to Marxists, always Marxists are against the capitalist approach, the capitalist government, the capitalist society. So, here, according to Marxist theory, family are the tools. Family does not have any free will. They don't have any choice to do according to to their free will. So on the other hand, on according to Marxist ideology, family are the stooge in the hands of capitalist society. So according to Marxist theory, families are the the tools through which a specific class, a rich class, raising their a rich class support a family structure because they want family structure to produce most of the labor force, and not only produce the labor force to stabilize the society, but at the same time they provide the basic necessity primary socialization on that ground, so the kids can learn how to benefit capital society. So according to Marcus, the basic function of the society, of the family, is to provide. They are against the capitalist society. They simply consider that families in the capitalist society are supporting the capitalist structure. Whatever the capitalist society or the governments are providing to family structures, they are getting on the same way. What they are getting, they are getting to not only support their ideology. What ideology? The ideology of capitalism, one thing. What about the ideology, the political ideology? What is the political ideology? Just to raise their kids according to the will of the political parties. And which kind of political parties? The parties which simply promote capitalism, simply promote the rich class. So according to Marxist, at the very end, I just need to mention a couple of things, which is according to Marxism, the families are the tools which are used for political benefits, for economic benefits, social benefits, and the ideological benefits for all the rich class. So they don't have their own will. But according to the critics of the Marxist approach, they simply said it is not exactly the same, which the Marxists consider, because this is the beauty of the family, that you need to provide the culture benefits, they need to provide the basics of the values and the norms to the next generation. So the next we have is the feminist approach. According to feminist approach, feminist sociology has traditionally focused on the family group as patriarchal and oppressive, imprisoning women in a narrow range of service role and responsibilities such as domestic labor and childcare. Different forms of feminism have different perspective on the relationship between the state and the family. Liberal feminism has traditionally looked to the state and the legal agencies as a way of redressing gender imbalance in family life. through social policies that will break down barriers to female emancipation, such as inequality in political representation and in pay. Similarly, the legal system has been seen as both a source of protection for women and, and as a way of enforcing equal gender rights. Liberal feminist has also looked at how the state recognizes the dual role of family as both family carer and paid employees. Policies include the development of the nursery schools and childcare facilities that allow women to both work and have the family responsibility. The relationship between the family and the state in contemporary democratic societies is therefore a complex one. There are ideological beliefs about the desirability of the particular family forms, especially the nuclear family, but state also generally try not to get involved, intervene directly in the private life of the family except in special circumstances such as domestic violence and child abuse, where states do intervene. They may try to impose a particular family form from above, as with China's one child per family policy, and may treat different sections of the population differently. So, according to feminism, there are certain things to evaluate. So, first of all, we need to understand what is the feminist stance on the role of the state and the structure of the family. So, before I talk something about that, I mean, the sociology are the things are not that complicated. Believe me, see that for the last, or you can say 3 to 4 weeks, we keep on repeating the same stuff whenever we say anything about the feminist. So saying feminist, you need to learn so quickly what is feminist approach. It's all about the imprisonment, it's all about the encapsulation of the woman, it's all about the borders, the boundaries. I mean, you need to restrict. I mean, the feminists simply say that state has such policies in the past to restrict. Are the traditional functionalist approach or the Marxist approach, according to feminists, is just to cage and force women to be at home and to engage in specific domestic tasks, far away from the opportunities to build her career. So this is the stance of the feminist. So according to this paragraph, I mean, one can say that when we talk about the role of the state and the family structure of the family, the feminist simply consider in the past government were never involved in the prosperity of the woman, but after 20th century, according to feminists, they are happy and they just want government to promote such laws, so the divorce can be easy, one thing, so violence could be stopped. So I mean, according to liberal feminists, they keep on saying there must be equality in the society. If a person is getting $10 per hour, so why don't a woman can get the same amount? One thing. If an opportunity is given to a male person, why not the same opportunity should be given to a female member of the society? Thirdly, I mean, it should not be restricted. I mean, they even go far away from the basic traditional structure of the family. They simply say, why not we create a society or a community where women can live freely without any oppression, without any pressure from male dominance. So the last about the feminist approach, they can say and keep on saying that we need more laws just to liberate or for the freedom of the woman. One thing, they are all about the equal pay scale, all about the job opportunities, and they want state to be more strict towards the abuse or the violence are the harassment which the women are facing right now in the different part of the world. So this is we have in the feminist approach. But after you can say that if I try to evaluate the whole like functionalist approach, the new right, the Marxist theory or the Marxist approach or the feminist approach, one can say that, see, I mean, we need to understand one thing, which is the most important. First of all, we need to admit one thing, and the thing is, there are countless societies in this world. One thing, every single society has a traditional, uh, you can say, culture or specific norms which are quite different from others. Second thing. Thirdly, whenever we talk about the societies, and as I mentioned, every single society has certain things which are far away from different society, but still, what can we do now? There are certain issues which are supposed to be universal, which are so journalized these days. I mean, we can talk about them. So when we talk about the society, we talk about the sociology as a subject, it's always impossible to say that we can be on the same agenda. Certain things can be solved universally, but most of the time things are entirely different. You know why? Because there are so many factors, so many tools on which a society can rely, and religion is one of them. Religion is one of them. So there are certain areas of the world where religion is considered to be the best thing, are considered to be the cohesive for the consensus of the society. But on the other hand, there are certain societies where secular approach is practiced, secular approach is encouraged. So it is not possible to say anything for sure when we talk about the societies. If their people are happy while living in communism, they are happy because they are getting what they desire for. So I mean, this is I have for today's lecture. Before I say goodbye, you need to take great care of yourself. Yeah, it's today is Saturday. Just try to revise the lectures we have, I mean, throughout the week, so it will be far more easier to understand the basic concepts. So take great care of yourself. Feed amanullah.